Consider this the most normal day in the life I'll ever do. I'm not doing a CEX trip today. I'm not spending any money today. Well, I kind of am. We're going to the cinema later on. I'll take you along. Obviously, I can't take the camera in. Not in anyway. But going to the gym. I'll bring you guys along for the day. I'm just going to pick up the camera and record throughout the day. Right now it's lunchtime, despite the fact that it's nearly dark outside. Thanks, England. Let's go see the dog. And you know what, guys? I just remembered. I bought a new device where now... That might have made a horrendous noise. Now I can put you down. Like, I've got a little tripod built onto the bottom. Like, I'll pick you up and take you to the mirror. Let me show you. In here's a mess. Ignore it. Everywhere's a mess at the minute. We've been decorating for Christmas. So, this is the camera I use to film. It is a DJI Osmo Pocket 3. But you see this little... From like there to here is a little mini tripod. So like I put it down. And it'll brace it. It's pretty cool. But later on, I'm calling it now, my partner's going to want me to show you the Christmas tree. I know she is. Ruby's looking at me like I need to show you guys Ruby. Come on, Rubes. There you come. Come say hello. Come say hello. 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 Big stretch. Good morning. You've just had a nap. You've got sleepy ears. Can I have a paw? Oi, sit. Thank you. You good girl. The one drawback to this little tripod is it's not the tallest. So I've got you on a box of biscuits right now, because we have biscuits. Okay, lunchtime, what am I doing? What are we doing, Rubes? You're looking at me like you've not had your lunch. I bet you have. I bet your mothers give you lunch. Do you guys want to see how unappetizing what this dog eats is? Check this out. So she's on a raw fed diet. And look at that. So we squish those 3 cubes down 3 times a day and there's a meal. I feel a bit mean having got this out because she's looking at me like, is it food time? I'm sorry, it's not. I'll give you some cuddles though. Come here, Rose. Come here. We're not playing chase. Come here. Oh yeah. Hello. Say hello to the camera, Ruby. Say hello to all the people that love you. All the people that love you. You should go. So yeah, today's agenda. I realise you can probably hear the dishwasher. Apologies for that one, but it's just a day in the life. It's just how we are. So I'm just bringing you along for the ride today. I'm gonna make a sandwich, and that was the dishwasher, not me or the dog. I'm gonna make some lunch. It's just gonna be a chicken sandwich and a protein shake. Let's go. I'm nearly through another complete bag of chocolate orange protein powder. It's my favourite flavour. Chocolate orange is just, it's lovely. If you use my protein at all, do be sure to use code Cayle and send me screenshots of any orders you make over on the gram. But yeah, running low, and by running low I mean soon it'll be time to open a new bag. And since I'm no longer dieting, it means that for the first time in months I can take popcorn to the cinema. I'm not buying cinema popcorn though. I might be a Limitless member, and we might get a discount, but it still costs a fortune. I'm going to take this. It'll be 500 calories for the bag versus like 1,000 calories for a large popcorn from the cinema. And this is like 99p. If you want to keep money, don't spend money. Also, for those of you that struggle... Can you shut up? For those of you that struggle with like thickness in protein shakes like I do, because I like just downing them, I use almond milk. Almond milk, and then whey isolate. Between whey isolate and almond milk, you're onto a winner. So what I do is that's 60 grams of protein. Let me shake it over here so it doesn't make too much noise. So that's 60 grams of protein powder. Gives me about 50 grams of protein. I've had a few people ask me like how much protein they need to be eating, assuming the goal of building muscle. You want to eat at least 1 gram per pound of body weight. So say I currently weigh about 170 pounds, that'd be 170 grams of protein. But anecdotally, generally, people that consume more protein tend to also build more muscle. So, for example, I'll probably consume about 200 grams of protein, but you got to remember, that's easier for me to do given that I have just infinite access to the stuff. But I promise you, 1 gram per pound of body weight is not hard to achieve. Not at all, not through just real meat and stuff. Let me put you guys over here for now. Hopefully the thing doesn't gurgle anymore. We should be about ready to drink. All right. Let's see how quick we can get 50 grams of protein in. So again, this is about 1/4 of what I need for the day. So I always start with a protein shake because at this point, it's been what? Like 10 hours since my last protein hit, so we're overdue. Problem solved. Something else that I'm going to do while I'm here is I'm going to make a clear whey protein shake. So what you guys just saw was regular whey protein. It's more equivalent to like a milkshake. Does anyone else's dishwasher do that? It means that it's done. Or washing machine, one of them. I don't know. So the shake that I just had was a regular protein shake, which is more equivalent to like a milkshake. What I'm about to make is more like a juice, and I'll make this one now, put it in the fridge, and then take it to the gym with me tonight. So in this one, what do we want? So we got Vimto Clear Whey, and it literally tastes like Vimto. I am running out. Granted, I do have more, but you know, soon it'll be time to open a new one. With this stuff, you have to make it and then leave it for a little bit because it does fizz up. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. So with this one, I'm going to go with 50 grams because 50 grams gives me 40 grams of protein, I do believe. I have a weighing scale underneath the shaker for those wondering. Yep, that's 50 grams. Need a lid. I powder all over my hands. They're not the fun kind. Can I say that on YouTube? Actually, I probably can. TikTok's the censored one, and it's a joke. I barely even drink, let alone that. Recently, in my videos where I go to Tesco buying Pepsi, people are like, you drink too much Pepsi. I'm like, how much alcohol do you drink? Because I guarantee they drink more alcohol in a given week than I drink in a given month. Because in a month, it's probably 0. I probably drank twice this year, and it's about to be December. Not because I'm anti-alcohol, just because the situations that bring you into drinking don't come up for me very often. Ruby's licking my toes. Why are you licking my toes? My toes can't taste that salty, Rubes. Yeah, I'm gonna hang on. What are you doing? You just stood here watching me make shakes. It's not for you. So yeah, as you can see, this one foams right up. Stick it in the fridge. By the time I need it, in about 5 hours, it'll be great. If you're wondering why my hair looks wet, it's because I've had a shower, and it is. Day one, after a hair washing day, I have to hairspray my helmet into place, and then that way, day two, it'll look fine. But day one always looks a bit hard. What I'm about to do is a bit absurd. So, those that have been following along know we went to Slim Chickens at the Cannock Outlet the other day, and we bought our gravy mayo back with us, because the stuff costs a fortune, you're paying for it. And you don't often use the entire thing while you're there. So let's not put it in the bin, you know. I'm going to put it on this sandwich, because I'm having a chicken sandwich. So, might as well. Where's my knife? You know you're English when... And yeah, I inherited these from my dead nan. Well, no, I think my mom inherited them from my dead nan, and then I inherited them from my mother. My mother's not dead, she just wants to be. And that's not even a joke either. My family's depressing. Everybody's ready to go at any given time. Had a comment the other day being like, why don't you help your mum lose weight? I mean, you think I haven't tried? It was literally my job for years to do that. She laughs in my face anytime I bring up those subjects, so we just don't bring up the subject. She laughed, right? Because of all of her various disabilities and health problems, she's had a heart attack, she's had cancer twice, she's got COPD, she had a collapsed lung at one point. She's diabetic, and she self-admittedly will acknowledge that most of this is self-inflicted through the fact that she just lives a very unhealthy lifestyle. You guys think it's mad that I drink 2 litres or so of Pepsi Max a day or whatever, or like a bottle of Pepsi Max a day? She drinks a bottle of regular Pepsi per day, and that's what we always did when I was a kid. It wasn't until I took over being able to have a bit of a choice that things changed. Anyway... She self-admittedly caused a lot of the problems that she's had. Chain smoking, all that sort of thing. Anyway, point of this story is that when she goes to the doctors and they tell her that she'd fix a lot of her problems if she just changed her health and lifestyles, and that they can prescribe her a professional and she wouldn't even have to pay for a personal trainer, she laughs at them, because part of what I used to do is I used to personal train personal trainers. At the end of my coaching personal training career, rather than PTing general public, a lot of my clients were personal trainers looking to be better at personal training. Because most personal trainers think that you just got to be big and strong and that's how you get clients. It isn't. You've got to be likable. Because what personal training really looks like, a lot of people get into personal training thinking that what they're going to do is they're going to be training people that are their age, that are like their friends and things like that. No. Personal training in reality is very much so equivalent to sort of training people that are just like your mother, where it's middle-aged women, middle-aged men that need to lose a little bit of fat to look a little bit better in clothes and be a bit happier. They're not looking to be bodybuilders. They don't want to train the way that I train, for example. And most personal trainers can't get their head around that. And it's what limits them. For example, when you first start working at a Pure Gym, they send you on a business course. And they tell you that within the first year of being a personal trainer, most personal trainers quit. It's something like 80% of personal trainers are not in business after the first year. It's pretty nuts. So towards the end of when I used to coach people, it was a lot of personal trainers looking to be better at personal training because trying to teach people charisma is a difficult one. If you cut your sandwiches in any way that isn't a triangle, you're insane, by the way. Right, I'm just going to have a bit of a play with the dog. You can't catch, can you, Rubes? Your mouth's too little. Mouth's too little. Little stupid dog. You know, maybe I'm old and bitter when it comes to the internet, but sometimes I get questions, and I know the person doesn't mean badly, but I just think that if they'd have thought about what they've asked just a little bit, they could have come to the correct conclusion themselves, you know? For example, I do a video where I go to Tesco buying Pepsi Max. Do you know how many questions I've got being like, well, what do you do with the Pepsi Max? I drink it. What the fuck do you mean, what do I do with it? Or anything along those lines. What do you need so much Pepsi Max for? I bath in it. That's why I'm so spotty. Okay. And I can't be this sarcastic to them because then I just look a dick. And I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just trying to hope that people have common sense. Just common sense. What's that saying where you can lead a man to water but you can't force it? You can lead a horse to water but you can't force it to drink. Or teach a man to fish and he'll have food for the rest of his life. Give a man a fish, he's got food for today. Something along those lines. Firm believer in both of those. So like whenever I get a question where context clues gave the answer, I always try to help the person get to their own answer so that they can use those skills in future to answer other things they would have asked. Because people, especially on TikTok, treat comment sections like it's Google. Another one was, I mentioned that I need to buy the Game of the Year edition version of Dark Souls 3. In that same video, I had mentioned that I'd bought the regular version of Bloodborne because I already owned the DLC for Bloodborne and did not need the Game of the Year edition of Bloodborne, right? That's a context clue. So the question of why do you need to buy the Game of the Year edition of Dark Souls 3 if you never play the DLC, while a valid question, and he doesn't mean it in a dick way, is a silly question, if we're being real. It is. Because I said, I replied something like, if I had the DLC to play, I wouldn't need to buy the version of that's like how am I supposed to play the DLC for a game if I don't own the DLC for a game without buying it in the first place? Like, yeah, I've not played the DLC for Dark Souls 3. That's because I don't own the DLC for Dark Souls 3. Maybe that's why I'm buying the version of the game that comes with the DLC. Is that a difficult chain of thought to go through? It might be. This is what I'm saying about being old and bitter. So somebody just asked me a question of how would they go about hooking up a Wii, a PlayStation, and an Xbox to one HDMI port on a TV. I did a TikTok response to them, but I thought I'd just talk through it here as well because it's a fairly simple process. You need something called a HDMI switch. Basically, a HDMI switch will let you put in several inputs into one output. So if you've only got one input on your TV, the singular output from your switch goes into the singular input of your TV, and your several outputs from each consoles go into the several inputs of the switch. The possible difficulty here is the fact that the Wii and older consoles like that don't have HDMI, in which case before it makes it to your HDMI switch, you will need something to convert that component signal into HDMI. I use the RetroTink. It's about as high-end as you can get, but you could use something cheaper, but generally with stuff like this, you get what you pay for. So, yeah. Everybody check this out. Instagram is giving me my flashback year memories because it was a year ago yesterday that we got Ruby, so I would have been spamming my story with puppy pictures. So we got this one. This one. Look how little she was. She used to fit in just the palm of my hand. I mean, she's still tiny now. She only weighs about... I think she weighs about 4 kilos now, but back here in these pictures she weighed 1 kilo. When we got her, she wouldn't eat. In fact, her sister didn't survive, like one of her litter mates, because she was just malnourished or whatever. So I always say that we rescued her, because she eats a ton now. It's my child. Look how little she is. Alright then, it's been a while since I've taken a look at some CEX stock checking, so I feel like it's a good time for us to do that. Granted, I'm not going today, but I am going tomorrow. So there's a Dark Souls remastered in Wolverhampton. I've not been to Wolverhampton in a while, and there are like 3 CEXs pretty close to each other. Bilston is apparently quite close to the Wolverhampton CEX. Apparently if you get on the tram, it's pretty quick. But there's 2 like 5 minutes away from each other in Wolverhampton. There's Wolverhampton CEX and there's Wolverhampton Wolf Run. So there's that. What about Dark Souls 3? Problem is with that is I can't guarantee that it's the right version of Dark Souls 1. I need that front cover, the one that I just showed you, not the one that I keep running into. So there's one of these in Wolf Run as well. So I could take a chance and take a trip out to Wolverhampton one of the days this week and chance being able to find the correct versions of Dark Souls 1 and 3. Dark Souls, this is definitely there, provided it's not a reprint, so there's that. What else is on my list? I've added some new stuff to the list since I last mentioned it, by the way. So we got Agony for PlayStation 4, which was apparently not a very good game, but I remember seeing a ton of trailers for it before it came out, so I'm kind of curious to see how it plays. But that is nowhere near me, not when the nearest one is Rugby. Something I want to get is the Tomb Raider remasters. I'm curious of those as well, these ones. Granted, I will be getting the regular PlayStation 5 version. I can't believe it's released on PlayStation 4 as well. They need to stop it. Ah, Telford had one. I was only there literally 3 days ago. I mean, to be fair, this is the sort of game that's going to come down in price. Like, this only came out a few days ago, so I'm kind of not surprised that it's still 30 quid. The Final Fantasy HD remaster. Final Fantasy 8. That's the only PlayStation 4 Final Fantasy I think I'm missing at this point. Also Bilston, so yeah, kind of Wolverhampton way-ish. For completion purposes of having them all physically on each of the consoles, I need the DMC HD collection for PlayStation 4, which was in my local for quite a while and I just didn't get it because I've already got it on PS3, and I own it digitally on PS5 as well. Tamworth, so yeah, that's in none of the ones near me. Something else that I could need to do is get Devil May Cry 5 on PS5. Again, I own it digitally on PS5, so it would be a little bit redundant. I own the regular version of it on Xbox One, and I could get a £4 voucher from it, so maybe I should trade that in, because again, I've been working on trading those stuffs in. So there's this one here. But I'm willing to bet that it doesn't come with all the special stuff. I mean, to be fair, it doesn't say no DLC, so maybe it does. And 20 quid. And there's one of them in my local. So perhaps. Oh, again, though, I already own it digitally, so it's annoying paying 20 quid for something I already own. Especially when most of the games I've already talked about in this are games I already own. Red Faction Remaster. Everything's a remaster these days, isn't it? King's Heath, so absolutely nowhere near me. Okay. Surge 2. Surge 2 is like one of the only Souls-likes I'm missing right now, but for some reason it's kind of difficult to get hold of. Tamworth Derby, yeah, so a bit further out than I typically go. What else we got? What else do we have? Far Cry 3 Classic. This is actually cheaper on Amazon last I looked, but I do currently have nearly 100 quid on a voucher. So, you know, Burton, bit far out. It's interesting. Me and Retro Ghetto seem to be coming at CEX from literally opposite ends of both of our prospective radiuses. Like, I know that he is willing to travel Stafford way, and I am kind of willing to travel towards Burton way. Like, I've been to the Burton one before, but he starts there, I start here. We seem to be on complete opposite ends. It's kind of funny. What else we got? What else do we have? Those are the main ones, really. Everything else on my list has been on my list for, like, years. So, like, random missing PS2 games from my collection when I was a kid that are probably not very good games, but I want them for the sake of recreating my childhood collection. So the Kokoto platform jumper, Stour Bridge, I don't even know where that is. There's a few random weird games here. Gadgetinis. There are some random children's... Oh, you mother... That's annoying. Telford. Was there the other day. But I'm not driving to Telford for the £3 game. I'm not doing that. Sitting Ducks. I've been to Telford twice in the last week. Erdington. Erdington things seem to come up pretty frequently, pretty often. I've no idea why. That's the majority of my list right now anyways. Guys, you know what I was saying about how I often get questions that I'm just like, there were context clues that answered said question, right? I did this video the other day, 23 hours ago. In the title of said video is Cannock Outlet. And in the video, I vlog us going to the Cannock Outlet and going into the Haribo shop in the Cannock Outlet, where there was a Haribo Pick-a-Mix in the Cannock shop, in the Haribo shop, in the Cannock Outlet, yes? Yeah? Everybody thoroughly understood what I just said, right? I still get a question, where does Haribo Pick-a-Mix? What do you mean, where does Haribo Pick-a-Mix? It's in the video. It's in the video. I'm not... I swear, it makes me feel like a dick when I say these things, but it's like, come on. Come on. It was right there. In the video. Where I went to the Cannock Outlet and the Haribo shop. In the bloody Cannock Outlet. And the bloody Haribo, bloody Pick-a-Mix in the bloody Haribo bloody outlet. What do you mean?
I love them rhubarb and custards, I do.
I know you do. I just don't get it. Ruby, what are you, a German Shepherd? What kind of dog are you, little sausage dog? I have no idea. Healthy snacks. Health. While she prepares our sausage dog mugs. While we take our sausage dog to go and sit on the sofa on the sausage dog pillows so that we can watch Death Note with the dog. Why don't we use our sausage dog doorstop to hold open the door as well?
I've also got a sausage dog bookend on the...
You do have a sausage dog bookend, yeah. I missed her saying it, but none of the sausage dog things, besides, you know, the actual animal herself, were bought by us. Once you own a sausage dog, everybody just buys you sausage dog branded things. It just happens. Not even the sausage dog doormat?
No.
Somebody bought that as well. Yeah. And now time for my vile concoction of health supplements. Glutathione, creatine, NAC and Robinson's mini summer fruits juice to try and make it taste less disgusting. Doesn't that look appetizing? That looks brilliant, doesn't it? Don't you just love gritty powder? You know that something's healthy when it tastes horrible. That's how you know it works. And stir. This is genuinely like drinking grit. Bottoms up. Yeah. Gross. At least this'll taste nicer. Although they never melt. Also, guys, I should probably mention, Marvel and My Protein are about to collab again for the first time in about 6 months with some new pre-workouts based on Deadpool and Wolverine. So we got cherry flavoured for Deadpool, and then we got lemonade flavour for Wolverine. I'm not somebody that typically uses pre-workout. Did you just cream in your mouth? I'm not somebody that typically uses pre-workout because I just generally don't need it. And I train late enough at night that it's not normally a good idea because sleep. Today I will use pre-workout because I'm going to the gym after we go to the cinema tonight, and we're going to be at the cinema for like 3 hours and the film's long, so I'm going to need something like this to pick me up before we go. So I'm going to give it a go, and I'll drop you a review live on the video. What are you doing?
Num num num.
Little stupid dog. Oh, we're in the dark. I wonder why that might be. How obsessive. It's not even December yet.
Don't have to be December.
This is one tall ass tree as well. Rubes, Ruby, you're not getting in my hot chocolate.
It's a 7-footer.
Ruby, get down. Ruby, no.
She's looking at me.
You're not licking me rim. Not under any circumstances.
It's a 7-footer.
Can you distract the dog while I'm trying to film the tree? So, Neve is obsessed with Christmas stuff and has just put up the Christmas tree in the last few days.
Ruby.
Is it a real tree or a fake tree?
It's a fake tree.
It's a fake tree.
Green it.
But it's a fancy ass fake tree. What's the brand name? Drop the brand name. Maybe.
Balsam Hill.
Balsam Hill. You've begotten hundreds of thousands of views over me over the years from me talking about this tree. You're welcome.
It was like 600 quid, and that was on sale.
Ruby,
Ruby!
you're not having me hot chocolate.
Right.
You'll burn your little lips. Right. Let's sit down and watch Death Note, shall we? She's such a beg. Look at her begging.
Standing, looking at me. With
She's like, please give me the cream. No.
It's all melted now.
Do you think a Philips Hue would look good in here as well? Maybe. My room's the priority, though. What did you think of the episode, Rubles? What did you think? What did you think? You're going back to sleep. Ruble Stiltskin. It's dinner time. Doesn't that look brilliant?
It's lamb.
You know,
It's lamb.
she's genuinely eating healthier than
She
us right
loves
now.
this. I think it's because it's so smelly.
Like we're having skinny pizzas because popcorn day. Whenever we go to the cinema and we have popcorn or something, we try and have a lower calorie meal so that it's like still balances out. All right, Rubes, you need to give me paw. I would like both paws, really. Good girl. Here you go. That'll be gone pretty quick. She took this photo of my arm, or of me from behind earlier on, and apparently my right arm decided it wanted every vein in my upper half, because my left arm decided not to have any of them, apparently. Yeah, so this is not a typical dinner for us because it's way too low protein for me, really. But again, it's a different kind of day because we're going to the cinema, and I will just
snacks.
and we're having snacks. So low calorie dinner is required due to the popcorn. And the good thing is that despite the low protein, I can just have another protein shake later on or something. I have infinite access to protein snacks. It's not like I'm not going to get there, And this one. Okay, I'm currently on eBay, and there is a steelbook version of Dark Souls 2 for the PlayStation 3 going. It's currently been bid at £9.50. It's due to end in 10 minutes. I've not put a bid in yet. I'm going to jump it up to £17.76 just for, the giggles of it. Because it goes for like 30 quid anyway, so I'm down for it. For Dark Souls, there's not much I wouldn't. Right, 55 seconds to go. This is where we see if people start jumping it up. Realistically, I might be overshooting this, but I want it. We'll see. Realistically, could be overpaying, but it's something I want, and I'm willing to pay for what I want. So, is what it is. At least it's not the 250 quid Venom thing from the other day. And if you guys are new here and haven't already, do be sure to subscribe. Let's go, shall we? Right. Now we just wait and hope that no one outbids me. Come on. 4, 3, 2. Somebody bid higher, but not higher than me. Yay. Determining the winner. Determining the winner.
It says please refresh the page.
It says we're determining the winner.
Yay!
I won the auction. Get in the bin, you sweaty ball bags bidding against me. You'll never win. I may also be getting something else because it too is pretty cheap and another steelbook. Granted, it's yet another game I already own. Multiple times. But it's a steelbook. 2 more steelbooks to the collection today. Let's do it. Let's do it. Gotta do it. Come on. £7 for this one. I'll show you what it is when it arrives. There we go. Guys, look how crazy this is, right? So a few seconds ago I did the eBay bidding war thing. Well, if it actually comes into focus. I uploaded the TikTok version of that, because remember, everything you guys see, I also have to do TikTok versions for. It's kind of the duality of my life. In 18 minutes since it went up, it's on 8,300 views. Let me refresh. Now it's on 8,694. It's going to be interesting to see how that does. That video is well overperforming based on time frames. Nearly 10k views in 20 minutes is pretty sick. Yeah, check this out. 2 new followers from it. 9,000 views on it in 19 minutes. Refresh again. Now it's on. Let's check it again. Okay, I think I refreshed too soon. We'll check it when we go. Right, lads, what do we think? The film is due to begin at 8:30. It is 8 minutes past 8 right now. Are we going to make it? Oh, sounds like Ruby is not enjoying the rain outside. If I took a shot for... What was that?
The water in the road.
If I took a shot for every time we drove around here, I'd be dead. This or a bit further back up when we park at Aldi to get a CX and Aldi. Yeah. Well, it's 8 minutes... Where's your car judger in? 8 minutes until the film adverts begin, so we've definitely made it.
We should get a good parking space today.
The problem is there's been parking. Also, the fact that this is Odeon Savers Day. Monday is a cheap day and we're seeing Gladiator 2, and that's a red flag. That means there might be somebody that needs a physical altercation in here today.
We would have gone to see it yesterday, but yesterday's our favourite time showing had subtitles.
Yeah, would have been a quieter showing though. I'm hoping that the bad weather has put people off because there's loads of spaces in here today. Tons of them. So, despite the fact, that unless there's a Fiat 500 in it, despite the fact that the cinema is supposed to be fully booked, we might get away with it. Who knows? Check this out. In the time it took us to get here now, the video is on. It's not quite focusing, but you can see. The video's been up for 37 minutes. And it's on 20,700 views. It's crazy. And people are like, why do you want to repurpose your TikToks into the tube? And it's because I make so many bloody videos and they get so many bloody views. And I don't want them to just be forgotten to time. Right, I'm going to have to put my camera away in a sec. Not just because we're going to the cinema, but because it's tipping it down. So, cinema's over there. We'll see you guys when we get out. In a bit. Why is it snowing? Why is it snowing?
I thought the ground would be too wet for it to snow.
I don't like snow. My shoes are 5 years old and I'm going to fall over when it's dry. I can fall over when it's dry, let alone when it's like this.
My toesies are getting...
I feel like in the last few days we've had sun...
All 4 seasons.
We've had sun, snow, wind and rain. Because it was pretty windy for a couple of days.
It was windy at the weekend.
Ruby's gonna hate this.
She's not going to enjoy this.
I mean, she should be desperate for a wee by now, so...
I might have to get the snow shovel out, depending on how thick it comes in.
Well, it's now 11:30. We need to go home, have a bit of food, and then back out again to go to the gym.
I didn't think we'd be getting snow like this.
A mission is never over. Film was good, or as good as a legacy sequel that doesn't need to exist can be. They didn't screw it up.
Yeah.
They didn't undo anything the first film did, which is always the risk of doing things like this.
Although, until we actually saw it, we were like, is he his son? Is he his not? How are they going to make that work?
Yeah, because, dumb. Also, casting Pedro Fantastic Four is becoming more and more of a mistake the more time goes on, because the man will not be in films he stars in. He just isn't. Or TV shows. Just you wait. Does anyone else do this where they get out of the cinema and go on the Wikipedia of the film they just watched? Check this out. Another sequel, Gladiator 3, is in early stages. What do you mean? Uh-oh. Has somebody crashed?
No, I think that's pulled over.
Crashed or pulled over?
That's pulled over.
Oh dear. I mean, I'm coming back up.
It's a car on its own as well. That's just somebody's...
I'm coming back up here in like 20 minutes, so, you know. Also, for anybody wondering, that eBay video from earlier on is now on 97,000 views. It's been an uber performer, which means that will have paid for the game and then some that I bought.
How many of them could you have bought? Lots.
No, it was like 17 quid, so like it's probably paid for 1.5 times it. I probably made 25 quid off that ish. Yeah, we'll see. Let's not fall over. Let's not fall over. Let's really try not to fall over.
Me last year with me snow shovel.
Yeah, this is risky, this is, especially our path. It gets...
I'm very bad. Look where she is.
She's just taking herself back. She came out, said hello, and she's like, no, I'm going to sleep.
You don't want to go out and wee in his nose?
Well, she needs to, because it's been 5 hours.
Don't eat yellow snow.
She's going to make some yellow snow. You've not seen yellow snow. You've not seen snow since you were like 3 months old, 3 weeks old, 2 months old, 2 months old. I need to make pre-workout.
It was the first week of December last year. It was like the only time we had snow.
Yeah. You know, taking pre-workout at nearly midnight, it's not a good idea, but here we are. Sniff this. This smells really good. It smells very cherry.
Yeah, but like not like super artificial.
Like sweetie cherry.
Yeah. Keep away from milk.
Yeah, don't know how to do it. Alright, let's give it a try. I can't give you guys a proper review of it until I've been to the gym because it's pre-workout. For example, if your pre-workout is marketing itself on taste, red flag. Like, when it comes to things like this, their efficiency is largely independent of taste. Okay. I mixed it specifically according to instructions versus just, what I would want. So, here we go. It does smell better than it tastes. It's very tangy. It's almost like fizzy cherry sweets rather than just cherry sweets. So, there's that. We'll see how I get on with it. I'm going to head to the gym now. When I come back, I'm going to give you my thoughts on Gladiator 2. I'm going to dwell. I'm going to think. Because I think that I've got a bit of a habit of getting out the cinema and immediately going, it was great. Because I'm really bad at critiquing films. I enjoy most films I ever see, even the ones that I get home and I see that have got like 30% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. So I'm going to sit. I'm going to sit on it and think. And I'll give my thoughts in for you guys, in just a moment. For me, in like an hour and a half. Because right now it's midnight. And people ask me about my sleep schedule. This is just what my life is like, I suppose. This has been the most accurate day in the life that I've done in a while, because there's been no artificialness. Like, I've not gone to CEX so that I could make a video, so that I could buy some stuff to make a video about. I've just been filming my day. And this video is going to be very interesting about how it performs. It's either going to flop, or you're going to enjoy it. I'm hoping you enjoy it, because this has been pretty... I've not had to spend money to make this video happen. Whereas a lot of videos that I do have to do that. Although I've got eBay in the title, I suppose, which is a draw, but whatever. Hello everybody, I'm back. So now it is 1:37 a.m. So I was at the gym for about an hour and a half. Let me just give you a quick whiz through of what went down at the gym, because I filmed some clips for TikTok. Because remember, I was a fitness person on social media first. I'll edit it in over here. So if I just, hang on. If I move myself here, and then hopefully over there somewhere is the clip in post. Okay, so I started off with barbell bench press. I worked up to 111 kilos for a set of 5 to 9, and this was moving very quickly. Based on how this session went, I feel like the pre-workout did its job, for sure, considering I'd just been sat down for hours because of, what did I see at the cinema? Oh, that's not a good sign for the film, is it? Gladiator 2, yeah. I use the Olympic plates because consistency. There are 3 different kinds of 20 kilo plates at this gym, and I refuse to use different ones. And the half kilo plates that I use to micro load are also very helpful for that singular extra kilos. You can see them, just the silver steel plates at the end of the 5s. Next up, I did the Matrix incline plate loaded press, which I've got 4 plates and my 0.5 on, so 80.5 kilos per side. Which is pretty nice. I really, really want to get this to 5 plates per side, so 520s per side, because that will basically max the machine out. I won't be able to go much further than that. And then I'll have to start using 25 kilo plates instead. But in gym world, 25 kilo plates are basically for leg presses. Everything else, if somebody says a plate in gym world, they mean 20 kilos. Then I did dips, so I did 2 sets here. Most things are 2 sets, by the way. This was only my second time ever strapping 60 kilos to myself. I promise you, when I post this on TikTok, there will be kids that weigh less than the weight I have strapped between my legs in this video, commenting on how deep I'm going or whatever, while my arm is the size of their leg or something stupid like that. Anyway, so top set of 5 to 9 with 60 kilos. As the set went on, I got more confident and managed to get a little bit deeper. And then after that, I did my second set where I took it back down to 40 kilos, so 2 plates extra, and these are much, much cleaner. You could basically draw a straight line from the top of my shoulder joint to my elbow at the bottom of each rep, which is lovely. I recorded both just to shut up TikTok, Next up, I did lateral raises with 20s. These are moving pretty nicely. I could probably graduate these to the 22s. A lot of people never go past the 10 kilo dumbbells and then wonder why the delts never grow. And then finishing off chest with the Matrix Pec Fly. This machine is a pretty light machine, like this one in particular, so this is a higher rep set. I can't do a set of less than 10 reps on this machine in this gym. It's just too light, even with all the weight on the machine, so I have to go just as many reps as we can get. Then I did tricep pushdowns with the rope to finish off. I'm pretty sure that every single set that I did today was a PR. So, lovely stuff. Anyway, Gladiator 2. I think it was good, but I don't think it needed to exist. Bit of a problem with Pedro Pascal in everything he's in at the minute, where he's just not a convincing action star. Like, The Last of Us really wrecked that for him as well, especially with how they butchered Joel's character in that. Argue if you want to argue that, but I don't care. I can't wait for The Last of Us Part 2 to come out, and everyone that loved the first one but never played the games is going to stop watching it because of the thing that's going to happen. But instead, I tell you what they're going to do, and I'm calling this now in advance, so that they can keep the star power of Pedro and keep the middle-aged moms that are only watching it because they think he's pretty. What they're going to do is they're going to have Joel be in tons and tons of flashbacks through the TV show, despite the fact that everybody knows how Last of Us 2 played out. Anyway, yeah, Pedro as an actor is good. As an action man, he's not. Not anymore. Maybe 13 years ago, when he was Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones, but now he's just not going to do action. And in everything he's in, he's barely in it anymore, like all the time. And I think that this film suffered with a lack of clear direction as to who potentially the villain was. There was a lot going on at any given time in terms of who should we hate, and a lot of it felt a little bit unresolved. Like the entire premise of the film was supposed to be our guy, Paul Mescal or whatever, versus Pedro Pascal. But obviously there's that dilemma where Pedro is not necessarily the bad guy, but then that gets thrown out the window about halfway into the film, if not a bit less than halfway into the film. And this is a 2.5 hour long film. And then it's like, okay, so if that's not the main character's motivation anymore, then what is going to be? And it's not the evil emperors, which I think would have been interesting to learn a bit more about. Like, remember, the entire reason that people loved Gladiator 1 is the drama between Joaquin Phoenix's Commodus and Russell Crowe's Maximus, you know? Not the CGI sharks in the water. So not having that sort of character development and like character presence with the emperors is a bit of a missing part of this. Obviously, Denzel was good because Denzel's good in everything he's in, but he only really came into his own towards the end of it. Yeah, I liked the film. I think they did about as good of a legacy sequel as they can do. There are a lot of legacy sequels that come out these days that absolutely butcher what came before. I'm looking at you, Indiana Jones. Fun fact: years ago, when Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny or whatever the hell it was called was announced, I made a video on TikTok saying this is going to flop, this is going to be awful, he's too old, they're going to replace him with a woman that's all powerful and strong and blah, 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 you know, the message. And everybody was like, oh, no, it's going to be good, and then it flopped, and yeah, it's one of them, innit? So it could have been way worse. Anyway, I enjoyed the film. This is it. It's nearly 2 a.m. It's time for me to go and hang up the camera for the night. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I did a lot of waffling, but I feel like you guys like me waffling, otherwise you wouldn't be following me because I just professionally waffle at this point. I'm going to go into town tomorrow. I'm going to go to CEX and check my PO box out, so stay tuned for that. See you in a bit.